A popular Japanese proverb says we have three faces. The first face you show to the world. The second face you show to your close friends and your family. The third face you never show anyone. It is the truest reflection of who you are. So, who is the INFJ when no one is around? What face do they not show others, and is it really far from who they're depicted to be? Welcome, or welcome back, psychos! Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Number 1. They recharge. We get it. It's not the most interesting nor the most surprising activity for an INFJ to consider doing on their alone time, but it's absolutely necessary and nearly impossible to do while people are around. INFJs are known for their inner need of solitude, and without it, they just aren't the same people in the outer world. But some people may ask, what exactly does it mean for the INFJ to recharge? Well, if they're not doing any of the 7 following activities we're going to discuss, they're probably just relaxing. Once INFJs are away from the lights, noises, energies, and overall stimulation of everyday life, sometimes all they want to do is nothing. Now, nothing looks a little different to every INFJ type, but for the most part, putting on some relaxing tunes and allowing their imagination to take over is the ultimate stress buster. The thing is, INFJs can easily find happiness within themselves, but they can't do so if they're distracted by other people around them. Number 2. They nap. Once again, not exactly as exciting as we'd hoped, but INFJs are often the most exciting when they're feeding off the excitement of others. A nap to an INFJ is like a form of turbo recharge, even a reset at times. Not only that, but an INFJ's bed is like their ultimate safe haven, their comfort nest where they feel the stress of the day melt away almost instantly. In fact, amongst all types, INFJs are certainly the type that stereotypically use napping as means to self-regulate, mostly because their introverted intuition and empathetic nature causes them to become emotionally and mentally overstimulated more easily than other types. So, while they're not the type to unexpectedly pass out per se, they'll certainly take the opportunities to put themselves to sleep midday. This is especially true if they're expected to be somewhere later, when they know a traditional sit-down and zone-out recharging won't cut it. Number 3. They don't stay as organized and put together. INFJs are perfectionistic and organized at heart. But do they always maintain that characteristic, or is it all a front to excuse themselves from how people would think about them if they weren't so put together? Well, INFJs step into a position of maintaining order mostly when there are multiple factors involved. For example, a lot of people involved, possible outcomes, and decisions to be made. This gives them the motivation to properly maintain family life, schoolwork, organization at their jobs, and so on. However, when an INFJ is left to their own devices, they actually don't care as much because they know they'll get around to it eventually. They know that if no one else is depending on them and they don't have to depend on someone else, that they can take their time and won't be judged by the possible disarray that may come from such a decision. Of course, an INFJ in a state of total chaos may be a key sign of mental burnout, but if there's no stress behind the procrastination, it may actually be a healthy habit of not taking everything so seriously as they're prone to. Number 4. They learn more about their secret interests. Whether they've become drawn to a new instrument or a taboo interest, sometimes the INFJ rather wait for their alone time to be able to really let loose and practice. Especially if it's something an INFJ has never done before, sometimes they rather not have an extra set of eyes or ears tuning into their learning space. In fact, using an instrument as an example, some INFJs may opt to only practice by themselves until they're at the level of impressing others solely to avoid embarrassment and potential stage fright. When this perfectionistic type sets out to do something, they can be extremely hard on themselves and don't want to share their talents unless they're absolutely polished. On the flip side, sometimes INFJs are into hobbies and topics that they know most people wouldn't entirely understand. For example, they may have found a new love for something like learning how to hack computers, or why some people become transgender even though they're not interested in doing either of these things themselves. INFJs are always wanting a deeper insight into all things, and sometimes people can jump to conclusions without understanding why else they'd be so drawn to specific topics. Number 5. They dance and do silly things. INFJs have a particularly serious vibe about them, and even when they're around their closest people, they rarely feel comfortable enough to be as silly as they can be when they're alone. Whether it's singing in the car or dancing out to some mystical tunes, the INFJ demonstrates a side of themselves that is only for their eyes to see. One INFJ Redditor said, "You know, they say who you really are is what you do when no one's around. And I can proudly say, I turn into a total dork. I put on my music, and it gets real at that point. I dance, I sing, I pretend I'm in a music video. You know the deal." It's funny how many INFJs actually relate to this one, and on the outside looking in, you wouldn't have a clue. Yet, if you try and get an INFJ to bust a move in public, they'd either have to be considerably intoxicated or they'd be quickly running for the door. Heck, INFJs can get seriously cringed just at the sight of other people dancing. But when it's just them and their mirror, you'd be surprised at the production they can put on. Number 6. They catch up on self-care activities. INFJs are self-care junkies, yet sometimes they can get so wrapped up in the not-so-helpful ways of getting their minds off things that they put these much-needed activities on the back burner. While it may be tempting to plop on the couch and binge-watch Psycho videos or scroll through social media, INFJs know they'll always feel more rewarded if they take a break from the information overload and social interaction. These are the times INFJs truly feel into themselves and enjoy their own company. Whether it's something as simple as setting the tone with a few candles and reading the novel that's been waiting for them, or running an extra bubbly bath in the middle of the day, INFJs will rarely regret making a date with themselves and sticking to it. And unless they're feeling completely burned out, it's always worth going that extra mile in order to feel truly refreshed and rejuvenated. Number 7. They disconnect. Speaking of binge-watching Psycho videos, INFJs do have the habit of just wanting to block out the world, as well as their forever circulating inner minds, and tune into something outside of themselves. Whether it is scrolling through Instagram, watching YouTube video after YouTube video, binging on their newest Netflix series, or playing video games, INFJs are just as at fault here as the rest of the world. If they're at a time in life where they're not running in circles, taking on more than they can chew, INFJs find comfort in just not thinking at all. Something that can take away their desire to continually ruminate, mindless activities can be their ultimate saving grace. Well, actually, even when an INFJ tries to mindlessly scroll or watch, they're usually drawn to more educational topics and shows that can ultimately inspire them and spark new interests in the long run. Number 8. Mystical rituals. Well, we can't speak for all INFJs here, but since they are considered one of the more mystical types, it wouldn't come as a surprise that most INFJs have some form of spirituality that they rather not enlighten others about. Things like tarot and oracle cards, yoga, meditation, crystal activation, burning herbs for energy cleansing, chanting, praying, you name it. INFJs are definitely not newbies to the spiritual side of life. In fact, sometimes a simple silent walk in the forest or solo sunbathe is enough to reacquaint an INFJ back to their nature-loving side. The side of themselves that they'd be too distracted to mentally connect with should they have company. And so, sometimes they rather not preach about it or share this private side of them to people that probably wouldn't understand. Well, psychos, That's it for today's video. So, if you're an INFJ, let us know in the comments below if you do all of these 8 things when nobody's watching. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.